Title IX has given me a seat at the table. I think once I get to the table, it's up to me to use my voice. But if it weren't for Title IX, I wouldn't even have the opportunity to be at the table. So I think that's what it means to me. When you think about early athletics administration and how it was so male dominated, and now you look at the role of the designation of the senior woman administrator, which is meant to give those senior level women exposure, influence, and input in athletics administration. That's significant, and that's the reason why so many of us have the opportunities that we have to, again, have a seat at the table.
Just the opportunity, and I'm sure that goes without saying, but when I was in high school, my high school coach would always, a basketball coach, would take us to the women's Final Four. And so that was in kind of the mid-'80s, late '80s, and we would go to those Final Fours and there would be 200 people there. And fast forward 8 years later, I was actually coaching basketball at Georgia Southern and went to the Final Four as a part of the convention, and it was sold out. And I just remember thinking, wow, you know, this law has really, really done what we hoped that it would, just providing opportunity and exposure for women in sport.
I think that all decisions now revolve around Title IX, and you take that into consideration before you make any decision. And I know that's one thing that we do as an athletic department and our staff is when we're looking to make changes, we're also considering Title IX and how that's going to impact our decisions.
Oh gosh, I don't think I would be where I am today had it not been for Title IX. You know, as I mentioned how sports have evolved since I went to high school, I was a nervous wreck. I loved basketball and I thought they were going to outlaw it. And then there were pioneers in the state of North Carolina that worked really hard to keep our sport alive and move from 6-person to 5-person. And you know, I just think that Title IX was evolving around that time period, and I wouldn't have had the wonderful opportunities that I've had to work with young people. You know, the opportunities that I had to grow with friendships through sports and relationships. It's been a huge impact in my life, and sports is something that I've always loved, but growing up, you just didn't have those opportunities. My dad was a Little League baseball coach, and I went to watch my brother play. I didn't get to play, but it's not like that now, fortunately. So it's just had a huge impact across the board for women's sports.
Even in the leadership in athletics, it's important to have that mix. And I don't think it's always been that way, and I've seen it transition to that more and more, which gives you know, there's more people aware of the Title IX as well, but you've got the gender equity on the athletic leadership side as well.
Title IX, I think, has impacted my career by just allowing me to have ladies to look up to and get to have the career I want to have. And I've been very fortunate to get to have all those things, and it would not have been without Title IX.
Title IX really has given me opportunities I don't know that I ever would have had growing up otherwise, just to be able to be part of athletics in general. I've worked primarily with men's teams over the years. I've worked with all of our teams along with, but like right now I currently work men's basketball. We travel, I'm the only female when we're on the road. Most of the athletic trainers I interact with are male. So I think there's some pride in that, and when I get to see another female athletic trainer, another female administrator at games or events, and being able to go up and talk to them and hear their stories and make that connection with them is really impactful for me. Opportunity, that's the best word. And I think that's the key, is that, you know, it's provided the opportunity. I wouldn't be sitting here doing this interview if that wasn't available. I think, again, we go back historically, where were we and where are we now? And there's still a long way to go, but we have come so far. So again, just more opportunities for women in sports, in administration, coaching, all across the board.
Getting involved with Title IX from a gender-based discrimination side, I've just learned so much more about it. So I've really grown to appreciate what Title IX actually means versus just the naive college athlete that I was.
I think Title IX means to me that we're all just people, that we should not look at each other in the gender role, that we should treat each other fairly and equally and not use one sex over the other to get advantages in jobs, etc. I think that Title IX is something that I will always be proud of those who came before me that worked hard to be sure that I was able to progress. And that's probably why I am where I am now, is because of the women who came before me that fought to be sure that we were all treated fairly.
I think it's just an opportunity. I think it's, getting the opportunity to go to work every day, getting the opportunity to see people be successful. It's just allowing that space to grow. I think it's so important now, for girls to see that there's someone like them that is, in this, being successful and in this space. And I have nieces, and I don't know that they want to do sports, but they I think look up to me and my sisters, and there's just a place for women in sports for sure.
And being a female athletic director, I can guarantee you everything is completely equal at UNC Asheville. And and we've had success in both the men and the women, so it proves that you don't have to take away from one to give to the other, that you can do both.